with the Halachot of Lashon Hara and Rechilut. Today we're beginning section 4 of the book, Avak Lashon Hara and Avak Rechilut. Avak Lashon Hara literally translate as the dust of Lashon Hara. Avak Lashon Hara is also prohibited because though it may not actually be Lashon Hara, it may lead to Lashon Hara about the subject. So again, this is a very important category. Is first and foremost is the prohibition of Avak Lashon Hara, the dust of Lashon Hara. Is that deoraita mi derabanan? So it's a machloket. According to some, Avak Lashon Hara is an isur derabanan rather than a biblical prohibition. However, others point to the various references in the Torah regarding Avak Lashon Hara. For example, that certain types of tzarat come as a result of Avak Lashon Hara, or that the ketoret brought by the Kohen Gadol Yom Kippur atones for the sin of Avak Lashon Hara as well, as proof that the Torah that it is a isur deoraita, a biblical prohibition as well. Machloket Rishonim and Achronim, the Dirshu Chafetz Chaim brings them at length. So it's a machloket if it's deoraita or derabanan. But it's important to say that this category should not be confused with what we spoke earlier about, that of Lashon Hara b'derech remez. When someone speaks Lashon Hara by way of hinting, that's considered pure Lashon Hara. If you hint something and imply that it's derogatory, it's Lashon Hara. As opposed to here, that it's not, and we'll explain right now momentarily. The Chafetz Chaim adds that scenarios of Lashon Hara, of Avak Lashon Hara, often involve the isur of lifnei iver lo zeh michshol as well, since the listener will respond and speak Lashon Hara in response to the Avak Lashon Hara statement. So that's how Lashon Hara begins. That's how the Chafetz Chaim begins this statement, and he continues and says different examples of Avak Lashon Hara. Example number 1 is, who would have thought that this person, that he would have turned out like this? You think turning out 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you reference this person's past. You didn't say anything negative per se, but it's implied, and the response would probably indict some sort of comment about his past. Or, please, let's not talk about him. I don't want to discuss what happened or what will be. Again, it's certainly asur to respond. I don't want to speak Lashon Hara about him, as that clearly implies negativity. This is one level less than that. You're not necessarily implying; it's still ambiguous enough that you're not actually conveying anything that's negative. And category number 2, a person appraising a person in front of his enemies. Another scenario would be to praise a person in front of his enemies, since this will cause them to speak badly of him. So again, one may praise a person in front of his friends, as evidenced by the place in the Gemara that rabbis praise people, Avot, and different and Bava Kama. But we'll explain that at depth more in detail. But if you know these people don't like him and you say something negative about him, that is what we call Avak Lashon Hara. So again, literally translated as the dust Lashon Hara. It's also asur because even though it's not actual Lashon Hara, it may lead to Lashon Hara of the subject. That's the general definition. We'll speak about this for a few days. B'ezrat Hashem, Chazak Baruch and Shabbat Shalom.